Social Reformation during the Reformation period, when King Mongkut was enthroned as the fourth king of Ratanakosin, he himself, along with a number of royal family members and noblemen, introduced Western knowledge and technologies the Siamese society in order to reform and modernize the kingdom in many aspects as follows. Social reforms during the Reformation period. King Mongkut readjusted some of the Siamese traditions in order to be acceptable to the Western etiquette. For instance, he ordered the change of the uniforms of courtiers and allowed foreigners to have the royal audience. The procedures for submitting a petition was changed. When the king had traveled by land, an audience was allowed to welcome the royal visit. The king also permitted his subjects the freedom of religion. During the reign of King Rama V, he had further reformed the traditional norms to concur with those of the Western cultures. For example, King Chulalongkorn discontinued the protocol of the crouching posture to the standing or sitting posture when in the audience with the king. Also, the protocol to pay homage to the crown was changed to bowing instead. Dress code for the royal audience with the kings in different situations for royal family members and nobles was set. The very important reform was the abolition of the price system and slavery, which will be further explained as follows. In the case of the abolition of slavery, King Chulalongkorn felt that slavery was delaying developments of the kingdom. Foreigners could consider Siam as an uncivilized kingdom. It could also be used as a justification by the Western colonial power to occupy Siam on the pretense to liberate slaves. As a result, he issued a royal act that lowered the redemption price of household slaves born from BE 2411 and freed all of them when they reached the age of 20. At the same year, slave trade was prohibited to prevent ex-slaves from entering slavery again. In addition, the king enacted the Slave Act R.E. 124, which stated that all slaves, regardless of whenever they were born, became freemen, ending slavery in all forms in a very short period of time. Improvements in public utility. The kingdom entered the modern period during the reign of King Rama V. To make his subjects become more convenient when traveling and trading, the king implemented major infrastructural works such as construction of roads, excavation of canals, as well as construction of bridges across Bangkok. Consequently, Bangkok expanded its urban area to the northern, eastern, and southern regions of the kingdom. Railways were constructed to connect the northeastern, northern, and southern cities to Bangkok, becoming the new type of transportation. The first railway line in the kingdom was the Bangkok-Nakhon Ratchasima line. The Department of Railways was responsible for railway construction. The first private railway company in the Siam running the Bangkok Samut Prakan line was owned by the Danish firm. King Chulalongkorn also founded the Post and Telegraph Department and the Survey Department. Improvements in education. King Chulalongkorn supported the improvement in education by establishing a Western-style school in the royal palace for children of the royal family members and nobles. However, the similar type of Western schools was already set up by King Rama IV. Public schools for commoners were established within the temple areas. The first one was built in the area of Wat Mahan Param in BC 2427. Later, a private school named Chaloi Suk School was also founded, followed by a girls' school. The king also founded a school to train further civil servants, evolving from Pratamnak Swan Gulab School, which was a school to teach and train royal page lieutenants. The school was later changed to teach civil servants instead. Furthermore, a number of departments with specialized occupations established their own school to train their future specialized workers. For example, there were post and telegraph school, survey school, law school, and so on. The king also founded the Department of Education to oversee all educational matters. Later, it was upgraded into a ministerial level, which was called the Thammakan Ministry. In BE 2435, King Wachiravut later changed the ministry's name to the Ministry of Education. Many educational acts were declared, including the Private School Act BE 2461 and the Primary Education Act BE 2464. He organized many educational activities such as the yearly Thai Red Cross Fair, initiated vocational trainings, and most importantly, extended the level of education to the university level, leading to the establishment of Chulalongkorn University. King Chulalongkorn encouraged the study in foreign countries as he sent his sons and sons of nobles to study abroad in a wide range of fields. He also offered scholarships for ordinary children who were qualified to further their education abroad. Educational reforms and opportunities for ordinary people to study abroad led to the changes in the society as those educated commoners climbed the social ladder to become the middle class, working as civil servants and governmental officials. Some even played important roles as members of the People's Party in the Siamese Revolution of BE 2475. Later, King Rama VI declared the Primary Education Act in BE 2464, which helped expanding the primary education across the kingdom. Higher education in the kingdom was expanded to the university level. Chulalongkorn University. The university, the first university in Siam, was founded in BE 2459. Originally, it was a civil servant school founded by King Chulalongkorn. Another reformation to modernize the kingdom during the reign of King Rama VI was the enactment of the Surname Act. It was for the convenience of sensual registration similar to that of the Western countries. The king also coined prefixes used before a name of an individual and put into official use Nai for Mr, Nang for Mrs, Nang Sao for Miss, Dek Ying for a girl under the age of 15, and Dek Chai for a boy under the age of 15. Creation of the sense of patriotic nationalism. King Wachiravut had tried to awake the sense of patriotic nationalism as well as the love of a religion and the monarch to all of his subjects, in order to create unity and stability of the kingdom. In doing so, he composed many literary works and gave speeches in various occasions. Some examples of his nationalistic works to create the sense of nationalism and patriotism were Wake Up Siam, Various Hearts, and Teaching Wild Tigers. In addition, King Wachirawut changed the national flag of Siam from the one with the image of an elephant to the one with the tricolor. Red, white, and blue represented the three main institutions of the kingdom, which were the nation, the religion, and the monarch respectively. When Siam sent volunteer brigades to fight alongside the Allied forces during World War I, tricolor flag has become the Thai national identity until today. After the Islamist revolution of BE 2475, the People government BE 2481 to 2487 had used nationalistic policies to create the sense of patriotic nationalism through modern cultures in order that Thailand would be accepted as a modern and civilized nation as other civilized nations. There were many cultural changes. The old social ranking and civil servants' titles were cancelled. New codes of conduct were declared through the enactment of many states' conventions. For example, chewing of betel nuts were forbidden. Women must wear skirts, hats, and shoes instead of wearing jongabrain. Some alphabets and vowels from the Thai written language were eliminated so that people would be more convenient to learn how to read and write. People were encouraged to use proper names appropriate to their sexes. National Council for Cultural Affairs was founded to be in charge of reforming and modernizing Thai cultures. Some cultural reforms that were unsuitable for the consciences and habits of Thai people were later cancelled. The Thai society in the democratic period. After the Reformation period, during the reign of King Rama V, the Thai hierarchical social structure, which consisted of royal family members, nobles, Prai, and Tat, were changed, in which Prai and Tat no longer existed. However, the patron-client relationship and the superior-inferior relationship still exist, even though the Siamese revolution of BE 2475 did not accept the Sakdina system. The patron-client relationship is still common in Thai society today. In the post-World War II period, the world has faced stressful situations from the expansion of communism across the world, particularly in Asia. The Thai government quickly implemented the National Economic and Social Development Plan, which aimed to contain the spread of communism in the country by developing a cordial relationship with the free world led by the United States. The implementation of the plan brought many changes to the Thai society as follows. Educational reformation. In the past World War II period, there was continuous effort by the Thai government to increase the duration of compulsory education. More schools were opened and many regional universities were established. The educational national policies to help people across the nation to have an access to education had raised the level of literacy of the Thai citizens. Social changes due to economic expansion. The large investment in the country pushed labor force from farms to the urban industrial area. This migration increased the population of the urban communities and caused both economic and social problems such as joblessness, housing shortage, and crimes. Urban expansion led to many other problems such as crowded space problem, environmental problems, and so forth. The previous simple lifestyle of the agrarian society with its generosity and kindness disappeared from a complex and competition urban lifestyle with its limited public utilities. Changes in the family institution. The increased number of Thai population had changed the structure of a family from an extended family consisting of grandparents, parents, and children to that of a nuclear family consisting of parents and children. This was due to the fact that the family institution had lost its importance as a tool for the economic production base. With insufficient income from farming, some members of those extended families had to migrate to urban areas to find jobs. Therefore, a traditional large family unit failed to maintain its structure. Influence of Western culture toward modern Thai society. The modern Thai society had been much more globalized due to the advanced communication technology and the outcome of the implementation of the national economic and social development plans. The Western culture, including English language, Christianity, democratic values, rights, liberty, and equality, and capitalistic economy became important influences toward the Thai society. The monetary gain was a primary objective of each individual. Those who had high-paying jobs would be socially respected. Thus, Thailand became a materialistic society, which caused a lot of problems. The changes in Thai modern social structure. Previously, the Thai society was a hierarchical one based on the Sakdina system and governmental titles. In modern-day Thailand, social stratification was based on family roots, positions in the government, monetary strength, educational level, and occupations. However, the Thai society is still open to changes in social status, and climbing up the social ladder is acceptable.